Fair to say you testified yesterday, and on your curriculum vitae, you speak briefly about the fact that you have previously testified for the Commonwealth, you said, as well as for the defense, correct?
Yes.
You referred to defendants and respondents, right?
Yes.
And so one of the things that you've done in the past is to be what's called a qualified examiner, right?
Yes.
You are currently not actively doing those examinations, are you?
I actually have done one, but I don't actively do that anymore.
Okay. And so in those respects, is that when you say you testify for the Commonwealth, is that primarily the work that you would do where you say you testify for the Commonwealth?
Yes.
And in those evaluations that you do, is it fair to say that you're actually an independent contractor with a company that contracts with the Department of Correction on those cases?
Those are what qualified examiners are. That's correct. That's how you become a qualified examiner through the DOC.
Right. And you're an examiner, a qualified examiner, is retained or takes work in doing evaluations in order to perform independent assessments, are they not?
Yes.
So they're not hired by the Commonwealth.
They are, because the company that retains the qualified examiners is hired by the Commonwealth, and these forensic psychologists are then appointed cases to do these types of examinations. So it's under the big umbrella of the Commonwealth.
So, yeah, big umbrella Commonwealth, meaning Department of Correction, an agency that is under the seal of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. But as far as when we talk about Commonwealth, like Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy, that's the prosecution. In those proceedings, the Department of Correction sometimes is the moving party, right?
Yes.
And sometimes it's the district attorney's office who's the moving party.
Yes.
But it's never the defendant who's the moving party.
Never.
And in those types of proceedings, sometimes if you opine a person is what they call sexually dangerous, you would testify for the Commonwealth, right?
Yes.
And if they're not, or if you find that they're not sexually dangerous, you'd testify for the respondent.
Yes, we're neutral.
So you're not testifying for the Commonwealth. As in the prosecution, you're testifying under the big umbrella of the Commonwealth.
I think it's a matter of semantics, because if you do an evaluation and you render an opinion that this patient is sexually dangerous, when you testify, you are working with the district attorney's office and you review your case with the DA. And the way I see it is that you're testifying for the Commonwealth as an independent examiner, but on that day, you're testifying for the Commonwealth or that DA's office.
And you haven't done that work in closely a decade, fair to say?
No, that's not true.
Well, pre-pandemic, correct?
That's not true.
So when was the last time you testified for the Commonwealth, meaning the prosecution, in an SDP proceeding?
So I was assigned a case through Suffolk County, the Sexual Dangerousness Unit, by ADA, Kelly Ryan, Kelly. And I did that evaluation on July 2nd, 2026.
And have you testified at a probable cause hearing for that?
No, I wrote a report which was in lieu of testifying.
Where you opined that somebody was sexually dangerous?
Yes.
Okay. Fair to say, though, the majority of your work here in Massachusetts over the last few years is contracted with the Committee for Public Counsel Services, correct?
Yes.
And for the fiscal year of 2024, you were paid by CPCS in the open checkbook for approximately $340,000 worth of time and work.
That's about right. We get paid a fixed rate. It's a government rate that's assigned to all examiners.
And for the fiscal year of 2025, it was approximately $300,000 that you were paid through the Committee of Public Counsel Services.
That sounds about right.
You also indicated yesterday that you have known Attorney Reddington for a number of years, correct?
Yes.
Fair to say you've done quite a bit of work with him over the years?
That's an expansive term, but
it
I
just
work with him.
requires a yes or a no.
Yes.
Okay. And you've also testified that you have your doctorate in clinical psychology, right?
Yes.
And you testified yesterday, or you told us a lot about your military experience, but as you sit here today, you are not a prescriber of medications here in the Commonwealth, are you?
I am not.
You
and
don't
I was not yesterday either when I was asked about that.
Right. You told us all about your experience in the military and having that limited ability to prescribe years ago. But as far as you sit here today, and in your evaluations that you do today, you don't do forensic psychiatry evaluations, do you?
That's correct, but I just want to clarify for a point of accuracy. I was not in the military. I worked for the Department of State.
I believe I said your work with the military, but thank you. So here in Massachusetts, you conduct primarily you conduct evaluations in forensic psychology, correct?
Yes, for the most part.
Okay. And you are aware that there are particular standards for forensic psychologists working within the criminal justice system, right?
Yes, but just to be a little more clear, forensic psychologists such as myself also work for police departments doing evaluations for fitness for duty. So although they're law enforcement, they're not engaged or accused of any criminal activity.
Well, I'm referring to your role when you come into the court and you testify as you are today as a forensic psychologist. That's what I'm referring to. You're aware that there are particular standards in place by the ABA criminal justice, mental health standards is one of them, right? You're familiar with that?
Yes.
And you're familiar with the American Psychological Association specialty guidelines for forensic psychology?
Yes.
And fair to say that with those standards, they're not required, but people are encouraged to follow them, right?
I think that's fair to say.
And the criminal justice, the ABA criminal justice mental health standards actually identify the different types of roles that forensic evaluators have in the criminal justice system, including evaluating, consulting, and treating, right?
Yes.
And so, fair to say standard 7-1.3 indicates that for evaluative experts, the obligation is to make a thorough and impartial assessment based on sound evaluative methods to reach an objective opinion. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And so, again, in the American Psychological Association specialty guidelines,